DC Comics is coming to Fortnite yet again with the new Batcave POI replacing something else on the map, new skins coming into the game, along with Divisional Cups returning. Peterbot and Poyo failed to qualify directly because of Clicks and Rapid. We'll continue to get into that, but will Ark and Lacey on NA West continue the streak, 1-for-1, qualifying for finals? There's so much to talk about, including Kai Cenat, Streamer University, and sprites being hidden around and a chance for in-game cosmetics for 3 different people. Well, let's get right into the mix. The leaks from Hypex have slowly been coming out, with DC Comics being integrated into Fortnite yet again. We're seeing the brand new Batcave releasing with a POI. Those pictures can be seen here. The return of the Batman's graphic Mythler, looking like it's going to be right back into the game, which is big because it might be in competitive, which is huge because if they can get this in a state where there can be multiple of these mythic grapples, it can kind of replace the shock rocks that were taken out of the game. And you also have the new outfits and skin styles that Fortnite tweeted out themselves. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and how much do you think this is going to change right before FNCS Major 2. From DC changes coming into Fortnite, you also got Kai Cenat doing something with Fortnite. Not necessarily directly in the game yet, but he has just announced at Streamer University there'll be 31 hidden sprites around that campus. Students can find, trade, and even steal those sprites. 3 winners get their own cosmetic inside of the game. They also receive a 7,500 Epic Games brand deal, and the winners must collect 1 of 3 0-point sprites plus an extra variant. So honestly, Fortnite is really starting to lean into the sprites. I know it was a big hit this season. I personally started collecting them myself. Until the holofoils came out, I was only missing a few. Now I got to start to collect them again, but it goes to show that Kai Cenat Streamer University is gaining the eyes of a lot of people and even a lot of brands as well. Epic Games, 3 cosmetic items from 3 different creators at Streamer University. Cosmetic items could be anything. It could be an outfit, could be a back bling, it could be kicks, it could be a sidekick. Who knows? But I'm interested to see what the winners will be choosing and who those winners will be. Let me know if you guys are a fan of anybody at Streamer University and who else is a fan of Fortnite that is actually there as well. Now, let's get into the meat and the potatoes of today's video. The Divisional Cups is back after the summer break, and all the teams had some chance to chillax, take their vacation, or grind hard. And if you look at the leaderboard, you've seen some of the new teams have been grinding hard. Veno and Agers took first place on the overall leaderboard throughout 2 days, 1,049 points. They had 5 victory royales. Kanata and Sphinx, though, another new team from the summit break. Victor V, Kanata split up. Sphinx, Muzz went their separate ways, even though Sphinx, Muzz, Kanata, Victor V are playing with their former duos for EWC. For FNCS, over 1,000 points as well. Only the second team to do so this week. They had 3 victory royales, but hot on their heels, Dolzair and Ishu. These guys, I feel like when I'm watching the opens, they have always shown up. I'm not sure what they lack in terms of experience when it comes to those finals lobbies. Maybe it's the drop spot, but I want to see these guys push into upper echelon. I'm thinking 2026 could be the year of the underdogs. Obviously, you got Pete and Poyo, Vico, Malibuca, kind of the OGs still dominating the regions, but I still want to see the newer teams shine. Speaking of those, though, Ritual and Cold, 4th place on the leaderboard, 926 points, 4 victory royales, 191 eliminations. It wasn't as much as Veno and Agers, 236, the most overall in the game. And then Kanata and Sphinx, 212, right there with them. But it goes to show Cold and Ritual are not lacking any firepower. You got Neo Riley and Creon. You got Yemity and Ulk in 6th. Shadow and Virgo in 7th place. 863 points. Excuse me there. These guys are one of the teams I feel like are going to be one of the best teams by the time Global Championship rolls around. Hopefully, I don't eat my words later, but they've just been increasingly getting better each and every event they place, especially when it comes to those finals lobbies. In 8th place, Scare and Chance. A new team, Queasy, Scare, splitting up. Queasy now with Victor V, who failed to qualify this week, but you got Scare and Chance. Hopefully Scare making the right move. 8th place, Josh and Iamzo are going to be in 9th place. They got 3 victory royales, 198 eliminations through that. King and Craze continue to show up, 10th place on the leaderboard, 828. You had Curly and Rise in 11th place on the overall leaderboard. And then you kind of scroll down and you wonder where the teams like Clicks and Rapid at. Well, Clicks and Rapid probably knew they already qualified, and throughout some of their games, they were actually, you know, looking at the queues and seeing who was having trouble qualifying. And if you watch day one, we know one team for sure had some struggles getting points. So that was Peterbot and Pollo. I think they had a sub 200 point day or something around that marks, which means they needed a massive like 500 or so point day. And well, they were well on their way. Their first 2 games absolutely dominated the competition, but then they ran into the troubles of Clicks and Higgs, and that kind of ended up maybe being the difference after all. Maybe they just needed a better day one, but Peterbot and Pollo ended up in 52nd place as of making this video. They were actually a little bit further out, but some teams got taken off the leaderboard, which also led to Muds and Tyler getting 50th place on the actual leaderboard, squeaking in, grabbing their spot. Reet and Cooper, 718 points, actually showing up and popping out. Epic Well and Pump just above them. Higgs and Curve reunited after Clicks and Higgs' last dance ended short before Major 2. They're going to be 25th place on the leaderboard. Clicks and Rapid, though, even though they qualified early and kind of had some time to have fun, they ended up 21st on the overall leaderboard. When it comes to Central, man, this one continues to get exciting. So looking at the drop map this week, we got some spicy fights breaking out. Even though Clicks and Rapid ran off Peterbot and Pollo in a sense, depending on how you look at it, they are still contested by Demus and Chari. The cluster closed is still going to stay clustered. Haha, see what I did there? But Jargu, Carillion, Reet and Cooper, and this time Visuals and Threats remaining to triple contest that drop. The hunting rifle must be that good. You get an abundance of gold. If the zone pulls south, you're set for life, even if it stays on the eastern edge. So maybe I can kind of see it. We got Agers, Veno, uncontested. Higgs Curve, uncontested. Josh Iamzo, Kanata Sphinx, all uncontested. But you got Liam with his duo going against Shadow and Virgo at the Heatwave Harbor. Shadow and Virgo are willing to just fight it to the end. So it's not a spot I would necessarily contest unless you know you're ready for a fight overall. And then you kind of look around the map. Cold and Ritual still uncontested. Liam and Veer just north of them, so don't be confused with the other Liam that I just spoke to. Liam and Veer, the ones who won the other Divisional Cup, are going to be kind of splitting the drop, the Battlewood, north side, south side. They don't typically fight it out, so that's going to be a good chance for them. So looking at the overall leaderboard, you know, you got to look at Cold and Ritual. You got to look at Agers and Veno. Javi and Aminished, even though I didn't talk about, they are uncontested and someone that pulled up last time. And then maybe I would throw Kanata and Sphinx with a King and Craze. That would kind of be my top 5. If anything changes, maybe Peterbot and Pollo do get in the lobby. That does not count. That is not my top 5. But as of now, that'll be my top 5. Let me know your top 5 for this week's divisional finals in the comments below. Showing NA West some love, we got Ratgun and Blood Gangsta. Top side of the leaderboard, 1,127 points through 17 games. Absolutely insane stat line going into this week. Interested to see how they perform in the actual finals. Slick Season OC going to be 3rd place. Sauco and Z-Link in 4th place, even though they're on different duos for Reload. Sauco qualifying for EWC with somebody else. Z-Link not necessarily making it there. They're one of those that have that mixed duo relationship, and somehow it still works. Phoenix and Retro, another esports World Cup qualified duo here, 5th place on the leaderboard. Then you have Lux and Centro in 6th, Epic Well and Pump in 7th, Sens and Sam in 8th, and then Hilly and Baka in 9th. And yes, you guys heard that correct, Hilly and Baka. Baka and Pars are no more. They split up. They went their separate ways. And so far, Baka finding success here in the top 9, getting the early showings in this week's divisional finals. And as we take a look at the drop map, though, we'll see which teams are contested and which ones are not. I know when I quickly broke down the top 10, you didn't hear about Ark and Lacey. They made it in 28th place. They had a very, very good day 1. Not necessarily as good as day 2, but good enough to get them there. Last time we saw them and in the opens, they were landing at Heatwave Harbor. But if you look at the drop map this time around, they're willing to triple contest cluster Coast against Compton, Snevy, Pillow, and Ian. This one's going to be a pretty interesting one because they were kind of triple contested the last divisional finals they were in, but not necessarily right out of the gate. So this could be something where maybe they're dropping one spot, could be another, or maybe if they're going to be contested at a triple con spot, you might as well go for that hunting rifle, especially in the hands of Arc, because Heatwave Harbor is also double contested. Specs and Le Hunt versus Variant and Wizzy. This one, I'm not sure too much about these teams. I can surely see them splitting these drops. There is a ton of loot at Heatwave Harbor for them to go their separate ways. Epic Well and Pump will have some competition at Calamari Canyon this time around against Blizzy and Wukong. I do think Epic Well and Pump are looking to play a little bit more aggressive. I want to see them kind of dominate their drops so they don't get surprise con like they have in the past, but we'll definitely see how that one continues to shake out. Minute and B-Dog, north side of the Battlewood against Raygun and Blood Gangsta on the south side. I say against, but again, just like Central, these guys will probably split the drop, go their separate ways. There's no real chance to kind of fight it out with so much loot around that POI. Hilly and Baka will be contested by Scare and Chance. Scare and Chance will also be in Central, so most of the games for Hilly and Baka, they will be uncontested. So hopefully they could really make those games count before these Central teams get in the game. Higgs and Curve again against Zeno and Larcos and Sir Kong and Saint. Right now, Higgs and Curve are in Central, so that'll be a double con spot at first and then triple con after Central ends. Overall, looking at this leaderboard and this drop map for NA West, there's a little bit more contested fights than I do kind of feel that there are on Central, but I think rightfully so. One of the things I always say, if you're going to contest, make sure you get something worth it. But looking at it, Phoenix and Retro uncontested, you got to have them up there as one of your teams to win it all. Salco and Z-Link as well. Salco, as of recently, whether it's Reload or BR, he has been playing to win it all. Elims and going for the actual first place team if he is behind. Raygun and Blood Gangsta, gotta have him up there for some reason. I'm feeling it. This is the week. Raygun, Blood Gangsta, probably top 3, if not win the entire thing. That's gonna be it for me though with the top 3 predictions on NA West. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But that's also gonna be it for the video. New DC, not only outfits and cosmetics coming to the game, but map changes as well. We got the Divisional Cup Open Finals this Friday, and then we have Kaisen at Streamer University with the sprites. We just unpacked a load, and I want to know what you guys think. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe as well, because it really does help the channel grow, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Beep, beep.